Hello, everyone, and welcome to the DreamBuilder workshop that we're hosting today. I'm super excited to have you all here. I'm going to just get us going here, let folks get logged into the live stream, and get my presenter, Jessica Ozrek, ready. I'm really excited to do this workshop. It's something a little different that we're doing. Usually you see us on our podcast, previously on ESPN, America's Healthiest City. But what we're really looking to do is elevate this community in more ways than one. Storytelling is a big part of that, but also how we grow and how we grow together is really important as well. As I've been navigating my own journey, I've been thinking about my own dreams and elevating those to higher heights and elevating the status of my life to the dreams that I have. And I just constantly come back to this lesson that we have to continuously expand the size and scope of our dreams if we want to have a better pursuit. So Jessica and I met, she had me on her podcast a few months back, and we had a great conversation, and the conversation evolved. We talked about America's Healthiest City and what it takes to become an ambassador in this program. By the way, if you're interested in becoming an ambassador, please check out americashealthiestcity.com. You can see who our friends are over there, and it really doesn't take a whole lot to get involved. But this workshop is an opportunity for us to extend back to you in the community and to help you with your leadership and elevating that so that your organizations can be healthy, so that you can be a better leader. But I'm going to stop talking here because this is only an hour and I want to keep us to time. Thanks again for joining us for lunch, and I'm going to go ahead and bring Jessica to the stage. All right, let's see if we can do this. Hi, Jessica.
Hello, Will. Hello, everybody. I'm really excited to get started today.
Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and hand it right over to
All right. So hello, everybody. My name is Jessica Ozrek, and I am a certified DreamBuilder coach and life mastery consultant with the Brave Thinking Institute here at Elysian Staffing. So for those who don't know me, I am the founder and CEO of Elysian Staffing. And welcome to the Power of Vision, the 3 keys to mastering your results. And I'm so happy and grateful to be spending this time with you today. And please feel free to put any comments, introduce yourself. And if we have any time for questions, we can go ahead and go over that at the end. So the reason I invited you here today, and Will invited you here today, and my intention is to equip creative and marketing professionals and leaders with tools to really understand what I like to call the language of success. And so we can all learn more than one language. And today we're going to be exploring the language of success. And so this is a language for creating the results that you want in your life. And once we consciously understand this language, we can apply it to any area of life that we want to improve. And this system of success that we will be exploring today has been developed over the past 40 years and has been used by tens of thousands of people around the world to create lives that they love living. So it's a proven, reliable, repeatable system for helping you to create what matters most to you at any given point in your life. So to help you receive the most value from this workshop, I really invite you to minimize distractions, right? We all have so much coming at us at all times. So I really want to invite you to give yourself the gift of being present. Silence your phones, put do not disturb on your computer if you have that option, and really bring your full presence to this moment. Are you guys okay with that? All right, so let's get started. So I want to ask you all, how many of you all have some area of your life that you would love to improve? Yes, all of us have an area that we would love to improve, even if we're fully grateful for what we have, right? And so my intention here is to share some really empowering tools to help you improve the results in your life. So by the time you leave here today, you will be empowered with 3 tools to help you achieve your goals, greater clarity on your goals and your dreams, and a feeling of being even more confident in your ability to achieve those goals and your dreams. Are you all up for that? All right, awesome. So, many of you, I'm sure, have achieved a goal or a dream that when you first set out, you didn't know how you were going to achieve it. Is that correct? You all have had that experience? So, the reason I bring this up is that if you have had a goal or a dream in your life that you weren't sure how you were going to achieve it, but you achieved it, this is essentially proof that you are far more capable than you know of. And so, what I have learned during my many opportunities to have spoken before to different groups of people and to have worked within the recruiting industry with amazing creative and marketing professionals is that a lot of the times our goals and our dreams are often born out of the challenges that we face, right? We all have challenges ahead. And so the beautiful thing here is that we live in a universe that speaks to us through 2 growth signals. And so these growth signals that I'm referring to today are longing, what we want to bring into our life that we don't have, and discontent. And so we experience the feeling of longing and discontent in an area of our life when life is looking to express itself more fully in that particular area. And we're going to dive more deeply into this today. But I really want you to understand here that both longing and discontent are essentially catalysts for growth within us. And so, whether it's the pain of a problem or the burning desire for something new, these are essential for creating results. And so, I'm going to go ahead and share a time in my life where I experienced longing and discontent that motivated me to make a complete shift in my world. So this is a picture of me many years ago. So that is my oldest child. He is now 13. So you can see how many years ago this was. And there is me. I'm working at a staffing agency that's the city outside. This is up in New York. When I lived in New Jersey, I'm now here in Richmond. I'm originally from Virginia. And I loved my job. But I had this beautiful child, and he was all the way out in the suburbs. We had moved out to the suburbs shortly after he was born. And I didn't see my child, but maybe 30 minutes a day. And if there were train delays, which if you ever commuted from the city, New York, which I know many of you have, there were a lot of train delays. And so if there were any train delays, I wouldn't even see my child before he went to bed. And so as a new mom, this created a lot of longing and discontent in my life, which ultimately led me to starting my own staffing agency. And so this longing and discontent that we experience in our life, it's not something that we push down. It's really something that we want to listen to, because as we give it attention, it's going to guide us into a better direction of our life. All right, so you all are here today to learn how to master your results. And so I'm going to be sharing with you some principles today that are really going to help you to transform your longing and discontent into new results that you are going to love. And so the principles that I'll be teaching come from a program that I am certified to teach. It's called the DreamBuilder program, and it is amazing. I have taken many clients through this. And in this program, there are 10 principles that will skyrocket your success if you apply them to your life. But in the 1 hour that we have time together today, I am going to give you 3 of these 10 principles, and you can take these principles, immediately apply them to your life after this workshop, and you will already start seeing improvement in the results you're going to get. So here is my promise to you today. Oh, my presentation here. Okay. So here's my promise to you today. So I promise that I'm going to give you everything I can in the time we have together. And at the end of the presentation, many of you are going to want to take this information further and integrate it into your life. And so for you, I do have a very special gift that you are going to love that I will give you at the end of this presentation. All right. So let's get started. All right. So many people go through life essentially, rolling with the punches, going with the flow. And this is what we call living our life by default. All right. And so people who live their life by default, they essentially do the same things they typically do, right? They go to the same place for coffee, they meet the same people out after work, and they're essentially creating the same results in their life each year. And it's interesting because most of us spend more time planning a weekend vacation than we do planning our life. I'm just going to give you a minute to really let that resonate with you, right? Like, think about how much time and energy you spent planning the summer vacation you have coming up, right? And then think of how much time you've been planning and putting into your life. Okay. So the reason I'm mentioning this is because highly successful people who really love the results in their life and make their dreams come true, they create their life by design. And so that means that they set a clear intention for what they would love, and then they consciously create what they want in their life. And so there are 4 domains that we are getting results in our lives at any given point. And so those are health and well-being, love and relationships, vocation, how we give our gifts to the world, and time and money freedom. And so when you look at your life and you're looking at the results that you're getting, some of the results you're loving and you're really happy with, and other results you're probably not liking so much, right? And the good news is that no matter what the results you have in your life today, and no matter how big of a challenge it might feel like you are experiencing, no matter how long or old of a result that you have in your life is, you absolutely have the power to change the results in your life. And so the results you are getting in these 4 areas of your life are a perfect reflection of your awareness in these areas. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and explain this in the next slide, which is a wonderful tool that I'm going to give you all. And if you want to take out a pen and paper, we're going to be doing some fun stuff today. So I hope you all are taking notes. But this is called the results formula. Okay. And the results formula begins like this. So our thoughts that we're having create our feelings, and our feelings create our actions. All right. And so when you think about, we're going to dive into this a little deeper. So when you think about your thoughts, okay, Think about when you thought you last lost your phone. Okay. That created a certain feeling, right? You probably panicked. Your heart might have started racing. You probably started running around, right? You were having a concern there. Then think of when you found your phone. Your shoulders probably dropped. You felt relief. You were grateful that you didn't leave it where you thought you left it. And so that's a perfect example of how our thoughts create our feelings. Okay. And then our feelings are going to create our actions. And so if we wake up and we're feeling well rested and motivated, we're going to take very different actions that day than if we wake up and we're not feeling well. And so then, of course, our actions create the results that we're getting. And so if you don't like the results that you're getting, you want to look at your thoughts. A lot of people look at their results and they call those their causes, right? They can't because they don't have money, or they can't because they don't have the time, or because they don't have the education. But if you want to change your results, you want to look at your thoughts. And the truth is that the results never lie. All right. And so the point here is that if we want to shift our life, it's important to understand that it's an inside out job and it all starts here in our thinking. Okay. So I'm going to give you an amazing tool that you can use to help you change the results in your life. And of course, it does start with your thoughts. So if you want to create new results in your life, it's important that we use this tool, which is called Notice What You're Noticing. Okay. So we're going to take a moment here. And for all who are willing, I really want to invite you to close your eyes. Okay. And we're going to use the Notice What You're Noticing tool. And so I want to invite you to notice your feet. Okay. So your eyes are closed. I want you to notice your feet. Are they in your shoes? Are they touching the ground? I want you to notice that you can feel your body sitting in your seat. And I want you to notice that you have the ability to notice these things. This is how you notice what you're noticing. All right, you can open your eyes. And so you can do the same thing with your thoughts. You can notice what you're thinking, and you can notice how your thinking affects how you're feeling. All right, so we're going to go ahead and apply these two tools, the results formula and notice what you're noticing, in just a moment. So if you haven't already gotten a pen or pencil and piece of paper, please go ahead and take a moment and do that now. All right, I'll give you guys a moment. All right. And so I want you, you don't have to write anything down right now, but I want you to notice what your thoughts are around these statements that I'm going to be making. Okay. So you might be a person who doesn't know what your dream is. You just know that there is something more. You might be a person who has lots of dreams and you don't know whether to choose one of them or create them all at once. All right. And the truth is that every one of us has a dream inside of us somewhere. And so I love that Will was talking about how he's really tapping into what his dream is, right? And so it depends on how much attention we've been giving that dream that's getting our attention through that longing and discontent. And so I'm going to really help support you in uncovering either more detail about your dream today or even starting to tap in to your dream, no matter where you are. Okay. So, what we're going to do now is um, we're essentially going to be looking at the 4 domains of our lives. And I'm going to be asking you to use a scale of 1 through 5 of how fulfilled you are with your current results. Okay. So we're going to be doing health and well being first. And I'm going to be making some statements. And if you feel completely fulfilled in this area, I want you to put a 5. If you are feeling not fulfilled at all, I want you to put a 1. And then, of course, there's some numbers in between that you can use as well. All right. So, health and well being. So, you might be a person who feels stuck in your ability to transform your health. You might be a person who has relatively good health, no symptoms, but you know there's more vibrancy and aliveness that you could feel. All right, so for health and well being, if you can give yourself a rating of how fulfilled you are from 1 to 5, 5 being completely fulfilled, 1 not fulfilled at all. All right. So we are now going to consider your love and relationships quadrant. All right. So you might be a person who longs to have a beautiful, deep, fun, and passionate relationship with a loving and caring partner. You might be a person who would love to deepen, expand, and have more fun with the relationship you are already in. All right. And so if you can notice what you're noticing with your results and give yourself 1 through 5. 5 completely fulfilled, 1 not fulfilled at all. Okay. And now we're going to go to vocation, which is also the expression of our talents to the world. And you might be a person who feels stuck in your current results and isn't sure how to level up. You might be a person who is satisfied with the results you're getting, but know there's something greater still. All right. 1 through 5. 5 being completely fulfilled, 1 not fulfilled at all. And we're going to go to the 4th quadrant, which is time and money freedom. And you might be a person who feels out of balance, like you have more time than money or more money than time, and you love to feel more in harmony. All right, so think of your current time and money freedom results in your life. And let's go ahead and give it a number between 1 and 5, 5 being completely fulfilled, 1 being not fulfilled. All right, so we're going to take a moment and reflect on your life assessment here. Okay. And so, as we considered each of the domains of your life and looked at your current results, you gave yourself a rating of 1 through 5 for each area. And I really want you to take a moment and pay attention to your thoughts around those results. And this is not a placement for judgment or blame. Your responses are not good or bad. They're not right or wrong. They just are what they are at this point in your life. And so, right now, you are paying attention to and noticing what you would love more of or less of in your life. So, go ahead and look at the ratings you gave yourself in each domain. And I want to invite you to circle the lowest rating. Okay. And so, a cost in one area of your life can lead to a cost in another area of your life. And so, whatever your results have been here up until now, you have the power within you from this moment forward, because you're aware of it, to create the results that you would love. And it's really important to understand that where you change the results is in your mind, right? It's in your thinking. And so every one of us has a dream inside of us somewhere. And so we're going to dive now into the 3 keys. And the first key is designing your dream. All right. And designing your dream is a wonderful place to start with creating new results in your life. So, when you want to create change and bring your dream into your life, you plan for them. Just like you have a clear blueprint for when you want to build a house, the same is true with having a dream. And so, without a clearly defined blueprint, you cannot build your dream. And so, I want you all to write this down. Clarity is power. All right. So, clarity is power. And as far as dreams go, we're going to go back to the slide, which is a gorgeous quote. So, Howard Thurman actually was the mentor to Martin Luther King Jr. And he said, don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and then go do that. Because the world needs more people who come alive. And I love that, because I really wholeheartedly believe that. And this is why I'm so grateful to be able to be giving you these tools. And so, when you understand that having clarity of your dream is power, this is the first step in creating a life that you would love, in creating your dream. All right. So, the reason that clarity is power is that when you get clear on what you want and you create your blueprint or create your vision, which we're actually going to do in a minute, the universe actually comes in to support you. And this is when things may seem to appear out of the blue. And I'm sure this has happened to you, where you think of something that you would love to happen, and then all of a sudden you get a phone call, or you meet somebody, or money comes in the mail that was unexpected to help support you with that. And so this is actually a part of dream building. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to actually design the blueprint for your dream. And it's really important, as we do this, that we make it crystal clear. And so for our time and purpose today, I really want to invite you to choose one area of your life that you would most love to improve. And so during our assessment, I do want to encourage you to pick the quadrant with the lowest number. Okay. And I really want to invite you to turn up the focus on that particular area for our next exercise. All right. So you all have your pen and paper. And in a moment, I'm going to give you a couple minutes to write out what you would most love. What we're going to do is we are going to get into a time machine. And I hope you all are recognizing this time machine because I know I am, and have fond memories of this movie. But what we're going to do is we are going to get in a time machine. We're going to go forward 3 years from now. And so it's June 3rd, 2028. And I really want you all to give yourself permission to ask, what would I love? Okay. And I want you, as you're starting to explore this question, what would I love? I want you to suspend any urge to figure out how this is going to happen. I want you to use your imagination and imagine that someone gave you a magic wand and you could just magically have everything appear that you would love in your life. Okay. So before we put pen to paper, I want to invite you again to close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth like you're breathing through a straw. And we're getting into that time machine. And you are going into the future. It's 3 years from now, June 3rd, 2028. And everything you wanted completely worked out. You have all the time and money and other resources required to bring about this dream. What would you love? What is happening in this area of your life? I really want you to see it right now as you're closing your eyes. If you could not fail, what would you be doing? I want you to see you doing that right now. Who are you with? I want you to see that. How are you feeling? Feel that. I really want you to take a moment here and just let your imagination run with it. And I'm encouraging you all to dream big. All right. So gently open your eyes. And I'm going to go ahead and give you 2 minutes. And I'm going to have you describe on paper everything you just pictured in your imagination. And so at the top of your paper, before you start writing it, I'm going to have you write, I am so happy and grateful now that. And as you're writing, I really want to encourage you to write in the present moment as if it's happening now, to write details, to express how you're feeling in it. And when you all are ready, you can begin. All right, you have 1 minute. Okay, and that is time. All right, so I want to invite you, let's go ahead and take another deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth. All right, great work. So at the bottom of what you've just journaled, I invite you to write this or something even better still. And this is a powerful phrase. It sends a signal that what you've just expressed here is what is in your awareness at this moment. And so it's like holding your hand and being open and willing to receive something even more powerful and beneficial in your life. And so, congratulations. You just created your life by design. And this is the first key in mastering your results. So, knowing what you would love in any area of your life and describing it in detail is the first step in bringing those results to life. And it's so important because everything is created twice. First in thought, then in form, right? So if you're looking around the room, everything you see was first somebody's thought before it became a tangible thing. And so that's what you're doing today with your life. You are thinking up the design, you are designing your vision, designing your dreams, and designing your life. And so this brings us to the second key for mastering your results, and that is deciding for your dream. So just like we experience results throughout our day, we also make decisions each moment of our day. And so whatever we decide influences our results. Even the smallest choices can have a great impact on our life. And so that's why it's important that we know how to make empowered decisions. So the decisions we make will determine the results we receive. And so to master our results, we want to master our ability to make decisions. And so it's proven that when we want to decide for new results, and this is what highly successful people do, they decide for what they would love, even in the absence of knowing how to bring it about, right? So some people want to know every step of the way before deciding, right? You may have heard people say, well, I got to get all my ducks in the row. Or they may even think, I got to see all the green lights down the street before I even back my car out of the driveway. But the key is that it's really important when we've decided what we would love in our life, or when we determine what we would love, when we create our vision, that we decide for it, regardless of knowing how we are going to bring it into reality. And so I'm going to actually use a really cool example to demonstrate how this works. Okay. And so I want you all to take a few seconds and read this. All right. So, looking at this paragraph, it would seem that it's completely unintelligible, right? But when the first letter and the last letter are in the right place, the middle can be jumbled up. Your mind can still make sense of it and read it. And so, I shared this with you because when you're deciding for new results, you want to know where you are now, right? So you took your life assessment. You evaluated the 4 quadrants of your life. You know where you are now, the results that you're getting now. And then you decided what you would love. You wrote down your vision. and you dreamed for it, right? You created clarity with it. And so now you know where you are and where you would love to be, but you don't know the how, right? And so it's important that we suspend the how and we don't. And look, I promise you, if you are, especially if you're very intellectual, which I'm sure all of you are, that how is going to want to come up and it is going to want your attention. But it's really, really important that we suspend the how and we still decide that we're going to go for our dream. Okay. And so, all right, we are moving to the third key. And the third key is befriending your fear. So, befriending your fear, what does that mean, right? Does it mean that we become friends with fear? Actually, it means that you can have fear, but you don't have to have fear have you, right? So we can feel fear, we can experience fear, but we don't want fear to deter us from taking actions to create a life that we love. And the author of the book, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, wrote this book. He said, the value of your decisions depends upon the courage you have to make them, right? And so I love the quote of, courage is not the absence of fear, but having fear and doing it anyways, right? Because it's so true. We can experience fear, but still move forward and create a life that we would love. So when we decide that we want to go for our dream, right? We're going to decide that we are going for a dream. We're going to, the moment we decide, we're going to start hearing those thoughts like, yeah, that ain't going to happen. How are you going to do that? Where will you find the time? Where will you get the money? Right? And so we're going to have all of these different thoughts come up. So these thoughts are called our paradigms. Okay. Now, paradigms are limiting thoughts and behavior that has kept you in your status quo. Okay. And we all have them. Okay. And I want you to take a moment to experience this paradigm. And I want you to put your attention on your dream. Okay. And as you're putting your attention on your dream that you just wrote out, I want you to pay attention to the part of you that says, heck yeah, I want to move forward, right? And then as you do, you may notice that other nagging part of you that says, yeah, right. What if I fail? Right? And so that voice is the voice of fear. It's our paradigm. It's the part of you that wants you to keep you in your comfort zone, in the status quo. Okay. So that's your paradigm. And the truth is that when we think about when we were babies, we all started out as non-walkers, right? And so as a non-walker, you saw people around you walking on hind legs instead of all on fours, right? On all fours. And so you wanted that level of freedom. You were like, wow, look at that person running and look at that person walking really fast. And you're trying to get places. And so what did you do? You rose up, you locked your eyes on that cookie or that toy across the room, and you started to make some progress. You took a couple of steps and then you fell down, right? And then what did you do? You got back up again and you took a few more steps and you fell down, and you kept doing this over and over and over again. And there wasn't any point, I promise, that you said, well, I guess I'm not meant to be a walker. right? You didn't have that thought. And that's the beauty of the process of learning, is that when you were learning to walk, you kept going. And something happens to us when we become adults. When we become adults, we stop giving ourselves permission to fail. We stop giving ourselves permission to fall down, right? But the truth is, when we learned to walk by falling down, that was part of the process. Each time we fell down, we learned something new that we applied the next time and the next time. And then we were walking and then we were running. And so great dream builders are willing to fail and rise again. And so we're actually going to look at some dream builders here, and you may recognize some of them. So Oprah Winfrey, she was fired by television executives. She was told she was not a fit for TV. Steven Spielberg was rejected from the USC Film School, not once, not twice, probably already saw it, but 3 times. And look at how successful he is. Has anybody watched one of his movies before? All right. So I also am a big fan of this next time, because I did not know this before the work that I'm doing here today, but the founder of Starbucks Coffee, Howard Schultz, he was told there was no market for his kind of coffee. His loan application was rejected, not 3 times, not 10 times, not even 100 times. It was rejected 242 times. And we all know what happened with Starbucks, right? So the point here is that great success stories have also experienced great failure. In fact, fear and failure are prerequisites for achieving great dreams. And so when the voice of doubt questions you and asks, what if I fail? Or what if you fail? Let your response be, bring it on. I might fail, but if I do, I'm going to rise up again and I'm going to keep going and I will succeed. All right. So, how do we give our power to the part of us that wants to move forward? Right? When we hear that voice that wants us to play small. So there's this whole process to this that I take my clients through in the DreamBuilder program. But for our purposes today, I'm going to give you one thing you can do when you want to move forward and then you feel that fear and doubt come up, right? Those paradigms come up. I want you to understand that where your attention goes, your energy flows. So when you notice those paradigms coming up, I want you to interrupt that thought, that fear, and say, not today, fear. All right. And then I want you all, as you're experiencing fear, doubt, and worry, I want you to shift your attention from that and put it on your dream. Put it on your vision. Pull your vision out. Read it. And so remember, where attention goes, energy flows. And so taking it off of that fear and doubt, putting it on our dream, and then taking action, even if that means taking action, feeling the fear. All right. So as I promised at the beginning of our time together, I do have a gift for you who have all stayed to the end. I'm sure you got a lot today. We're going to actually cover that right now. So let's recap what we've learned. All right, and then I'm going to go over the gift. So you all learned the 3 keys to mastering your results, right? You learned the importance of designing your dream. It's so important that you have a blueprint of what you want to achieve. And the clearer the blueprint is, the more power you have. We also went over the second key, which is deciding for your dream. So the power of making decisions even without knowing the how. Okay. So that's really important. And we want to be deciding for things that we would love. That is key. And then the third key is befriending your fear. And this is recognizing that fear is along the journey to greatness. And fear and failure are prerequisites for becoming the best version of yourself. And so we can have fear, but we don't want fear and paradigms to have us, meaning we don't want them to get in the way of dissuading us from taking action towards our dreams. And above all, I really want you all to know that you are worthy of your dream and you are worthy of a life you love living. Okay. So let me ask you this. Who here felt connected with these ideas and know that if you really implement them, they will make a difference in your life? So, as I promised, my gift to you. At the beginning, I mentioned that I have a gift for anybody who does feel connected and wants to learn and take this further than today. And so between my coaching and recruiting schedule, I do carve out time each week for strategy sessions. Okay. And a strategy session is a 30 to 45 minute Zoom conversation, one-on-one with me, to get even clearer on exactly where you are and the life that you would love to create. And most importantly, the steps that you can take that will move you in the direction of your dream. Okay, so this one-on-one time, this 30 to 45 minute Zoom conversation is valued at $250. So some of you in the room know that you're ready to invest in achieving your dream. So for you, here's your next step. Some one-on-one time with me over Zoom where we can invest in you, your dream, and discover the path for how you can get there. And my gift to you is I'm offering this strategy session completely complimentary. There's no charge. It's my gift to you. So I am going to go ahead and put this information in here. Okay. So my schedule does fill up. I have time for about 5 strategy sessions over the next week and a half. So I advise if you do want to take advantage of the strategy session to go ahead and write my email address down and send me an email. Just title it strategy session. It's jozrek@elysianstaffing.com. If you want to go ahead and do that before we wrap this up today, then that would be really good. I am going to be moving the slides, so if you all want to take a quick screenshot, and we can go ahead and finish up our few more minutes. And all right, so I'll give you guys a moment. All right. And so whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Because boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. All right. So you have a splendid dream. You wrote it down, you felt it, you made a decision for it. And remember, to achieve your dream, you get to decide for it again and again, no matter your circumstances, no matter the fear, no matter the failure. You get to decide for when it's uncomfortable, for when you don't feel like it, because there's one elementary truth. When you commit to your dream and you befriend your fear, raising in all one's favor are unforeseen incidences and meetings and material assistance, which you could not have dreamt will come your way, right? This is when we were talking about things coming out of the blue. So design, decide, and take action, even regardless of the fear. And everything is going to come in to support you to make your dream come true. So for those of you who are willing to commit to your dream, and for those of you who would love the support in achieving your dream, email me for a strategy session. And remember, all of you all, as we wrap up today and you walk out the doors into your life, know that what is inside of you is far greater than any challenge you're facing. You have incredible power within you. This is your moment. This is your day. Take bold action, because what Goethe says, whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. All right. It has been an honor spending this time with you and sharing these 3 keys with you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. I took so much away. I'm not sure if this is everybody's experience, but in the little bit of time that we've been here together, I've received a new business opportunity in my inbox, and my focus today was my vocation. So it has to be working because it is that quick. But yeah, this is really something I think that from my own perspective, not spending enough time on these things on a really daily basis is certainly what's holding me back. I think I have to practice a lot of this stuff on a serious daily basis, and sometimes we get busy. And so I really appreciate the reminders in this, and I think for anybody, this is just a phenomenal use of an hour's time. I do want to do one quick thing before we go for folks. I have one more little opportunity coming up here this Thursday that if folks wanted to attend a live meetup, we're going to have a little happy hour here. I'm just going to share my screen really quickly so you guys can see this. But at Common House here from 5 to 7 Thursday this week, we'll be able to, I'm going to just share my screen so you can see this. There we go. Happy hour. Common House rooftop. It's going to be totally free to come and hang out with us, and it'll be my treat. So put this on your calendar, and this video will actually be available. So for those who signed up that could not be here, you'll be able to play this back and get all the nuggets that are in this session. So thank you all so much for being here. And Jessica, thank you so much for spending this time with us. This is incredibly valuable.
Thank you, Will. Thank you, everybody. It's been a pleasure.
Take care.
Bye.